And we are live. This is Mod Hotep, producer, songwriter, Fresno, California. We have Angela P. Lewis. Oh, no. Mrs. Angela P. Lewis, producer, songwriter. Yes, fellas, she makes beats. Talented. Her mother's in the background. She don't want me to say nothing. You know, she likes gospel music. She didn't know about Anita Baker when I asked her because she was doing, that was her gospel time period. Respect to her. And we have Brad Chapman, vocal pre-producer. He's going to work with Angela. And, you know what, before we even get started, I was talking about it, Angela Robin Frederick. Have you been to robinfrederick.com yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, Google her name, go to robinfrederick.com, and look at the different books she has on songwriting. Check her out.
I know of a few, so I'll make sure I do that.
And Brad, so do your thing. Good luck. Let's see what you can do with Angela.
And we all want to thank Maad, as usual, for spending his time bringing all this information out into the world. And not only do I appreciate it when he has me as a guest, but I'm a big fan of watching him have other guests online. So I want you all to put a lot of attention on this man. He's a very, very, very valuable man, very intelligent, very high go-getter. It's the kind of guy you want to know in the music industry. I guarantee it. Now, I have put up my web page. If you guys can read it at the bottom there, it says Brad Chapman, vocal pre-producer, bradchapmanvocals.com. So if you have any questions or want to contact me, feel free via that. If you want to make a Facebook request, that's just Brad Chapman, but that's only for professionals, so please don't make a request unless you're in the industry. So we've done, I didn't count them, but 6 or 7 of these now, I think. And we're going to do something a little bit different. Angela's been working with me for a while. We did have a hiatus for a few months while she moved. And Angela and I met on the very first hangout that Mahat produced. So you see how all this works, how we all come together. And most of the time when we've been doing a hangout, it's been, I haven't known the singer. You know, Mahat has very specifically put someone on that I didn't know. And today is going to be different. Angela and I have actually worked on this song several times, and so what we're going to do is show you, rather than just, okay, this is cold and here we go, we're going to show you what we've worked up to. And we've pretty much worked over the whole thing. She hasn't completely written the whole song, so don't think of that as being relevant. It's not. But there's one section at the end of the song that we haven't fine-tuned as well as we have the first and the second. So the first thing we do, and Andrew's got morning voice, which is a common recording studio issue, and so we'll work around that, and that's actually going to be an interesting lesson for all of us anyway, because nobody's perfect. Nobody walks into the studio perfect. Nobody walks out of the studio perfect. So how do you avoid letting the concept of perfection destroy your recording session? Well, you master, and this is what a lot of the great stars comes very naturally to them, the ones I've worked with, is that they don't judge themselves while they're singing. They communicate. They just sing out. They feel the story. They sing the story. And their mind has no time for, oh, I was a little hoarse there, or I was a little sharp there, or I was a little flat there. So as Angela's already mentioned this to us, we're all kind of aware of it, so now we're all going to be kind of listening for it. So now it's even more important that Angela not pay any attention to anything that she considers a mistake. Only thing you need to be doing, Angela, is just feeling and emoting and enjoying your song. You wrote it, you had a reason for writing it, you decided you want to feel these emotions over and over again, put your mind 100% there. That's our #1 goal always. And go in with the attitude, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. And then we'll actually talk about, well, maybe that was broke. But I don't want you to be the one thinking about whether it's broke or not. I want you to turn that over to me in this particular case, or in a recording session over to the producer. Live, let me turn this off. Live, the audience, of course, won't make comments, but they'll just react one way or the other. So you can't really control those things. So what you can control is just being in the moment, really singing, really feeling it. And Angela takes a second, which is brilliant. It works very, very well. She takes a second. She kind of closes her eyes. She knows what key she's going to start in. She starts on the note F sharp, and she's just going to go for it. And we're going to let her sing it all the way through, with no critical thought on anybody's part. And then we'll go from there. So go for it, Angela.
All right. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function, 'cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down. Day in and day out, I try to keep my smile, but you've been gone for more than a while. You preach security, but you're not even here with me, and loneliness is not my style. All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money, so can't you just find something else? All I need is you, 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 you. All I need is you, 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 you. Baby, can't you see that life is here with me, and not somewhere out there on the road? I'm about to lose my sanity. This life I live is not easy, in spite of what you might have been told. I'm tired of all the pain I feel when you're away. Sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired of being lonely. Boy, you're my one and only. So don't you know I'm counting on you? All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money, so can't you just find something else? All I need is you, 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 you. All I need is you, you, you. All I need is you.
Oh, okay. So there was that I was waiting for a section. I guess I isn't there.
Right.
So was that?
But I did what you told me to do, though. See.
No, I know you did. I know you did. I'm sorry, guys. I give one of the things that you all don't have while you're listening is any memories of what Angela and I have done up to this point. So there was verse, chorus. Was there something after that?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
where I'm lost. So you haven't written a bridge or anything like that yet?
No.
Okay, all right. That's perfect. Okay. So I set up something in my mind yesterday that doesn't actually exist, but that's not unusual for me. So no worries.
But
I've learned how to survive.
yeah.
Throwing things in that don't exist. Okay. So I felt pretty much you held back a little bit compared to yesterday, and that.
No.
How do you feel about that?
I did, because I could feel I was vocally. I mean, today I'm not where I was yesterday, so there was a blockage there that when I got to the chorus, I knew I was going to be too. It was going to be pitched too high because of just how everything is working right now. So.
All right, let's try something then. Let's presume we're in a tracking session. This is no longer rehearsal, and we don't get another shot at this.
Right.
So do it again.
Okay.
And even though you've had a day to lose the intensity we gained yesterday, which is normal, you know. In other words, sometimes in a recording session, one of the most favorite things that a lot of famous record producers use, or ones that are successful, is they'll have you sing the song 4 or 5 times, and then they'll go in and edit which parts they want, which parts they don't, because they know that it takes some singers, most of them, a little while to get into it. On a rare occasion, they find a singer, the first pass is the one they decide to keep, but that's pretty rare. So I just want you to do it again this time, and come in with the intensity that we left off with yesterday, and then we're gonna tell them what we decided about dynamics after you do that, because this song's a little bit unusual dynamically, and we'll talk to them about why we chose to do what we did. So again, I want people to kind of just say, all right, this is where Brad and Angela are. This is where they've worked up to. And there's going to be a few changes today, but it's not. We're not starting from point A. We've been into this a little while, and we're close to being finished. You know, especially if you have finished the song. As far as tracking goes, I'd say if you didn't have anything more to do on this song, and we had all the tracks ready and everything, I'd say if you just worked this really hard for a couple of weeks without really thinking of changing anything, it'd probably be, you know, ready for all the magic to happen in the studio. Yeah. So do it again. Come in with 20% more intensity in the first verse.
Same pitch. Same key. Same key.
Excuse that key. Yeah, that key.
Same key.
Okay. That key. Yeah, we can't change that. We're in tracking.
Right, you did say that.
Okay. And then the second verse will be up 10% from there, and you already know what the choruses do and how those work.
All right.
Those come down in dynamics. So nice way to end that, by the way. That was something we worked on yesterday, guys, that she did a much better job on.
All right.
So there is no blockage, there is no bad notes, there is no hoarseness, there is no flat notes, there is no sharp pitches, there is no nothing. There's just you telling your story. That's it. That's all the producers want. They don't care about any of the rest of it. I know you do, but they don't. And when I talk about the producers, I'm also talking about the audience. They don't care either.
All right. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function, 'cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down. Day in and day out, I try to keep my smile, but you've been gone for more than a while. You preach security, but you're not even here with me, and loneliness is not my style. All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money, so can't you just find something else? All I need is you. You. All I need is you. You, you. Baby, can't you see that life is here with me and not somewhere out there on the road? I'm about to lose my sanity. This life I live is not easy in spite of what you might have been told. I'm tired of all the pain I feel when you're away. Sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired of being lonely. Boy, you're my one and only. So don't you know I'm counting on you? All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money. So can't you just find something else? All I need is you, you. All I need is you. You. All I need is you.
Okay, so what was that hand movement there at the end?
I don't know.
Are you frustrated?
Yes, I'm very frustrated.
Okay. Okay.
This key is killing my throat. It's really hurting now.
Then lower the key. And the reason we're going to lower the key is because we're not tracking today, so let's be realistic. Generally, what you do,
I can hit it, but they don't know. But you know, so yeah.
Generally, what you do in a situation like this is you, if the key's wrong for that day and the voice is just bad for that day, then you just reschedule your day and do something else.
Right.
Go back and do some vocal refreshing and take the day off, maybe 2 days off, whatever. Because you know what we're trying to do is get a great performance. We're not trying to rush the process. But there was only two times I noticed that you introverted for a second, and actually I thought it was pretty good how you got right back into it though.
Okay. I can try it again. I can try it one more time.
You hid that pretty well, and
Yeah.
And I was going to say that live things like that tend to just go through. People don't really focus on it like you do.
Right.
If you don't stay with it, if you don't get stuck in it, and you stay with the live show, and you got that communication going with the audience. It doesn't bother them any more than when I'm talking to you and I go and I just keep talking.
Right.
It doesn't really bother you that much that same thing here. And then yeah, so this is part of our goal, is to make sure that you're able to make mistakes and get right back into it, because no one ever does it without making mistakes.
Right.
And then the other thing in studio session work, we know that we could have gone back and redone those, so why be frustrated about them?
You're right.
So what I'm trying to coach everybody here on, everybody who's listening, is that as singers, we make much more big a deal out of this than the audience or the producers do. We got this little guy in the back of our head who's slapping us upside the back of the head every time we do something that we don't think is absolutely perfect. And there is no, the audience doesn't have that hand, and the producer doesn't have that hand, and we need to let go of that hand too.
Right.
But anyway, okay, so do it again a whole step lower.
Whole step lower?
Yeah, let's go ahead and protect your voice, because in fact we're not tracking. And the other thing is, one thing you did a little bit better yesterday was that part in the first verse where we talked about how frustrated that line is.
Right.
Go a little deeper into there.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that this time around. Actually, after I got past that first stanza of the first verse, I was like, dang it, I didn't do it the way I was wanting to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, and anybody who who's here that's watching this has been in a recording session has seen this go on 1 billion times, and you know what's going on here is nothing new or any form of failure. It's just the way it works. Then I wanted to explain why the dynamics were kind of different in this song. Angela's first assumption, like a lot of our assumptions, is that the song should grow, that it should go, you know, quieter at the beginning, and then stronger in the first chorus, and then stronger in the second chorus, and then stronger in the third chorus, which is most of the time, depending on the lyrics, is a fairly good formula. But we went through all the lyrics and we noticed that that formula doesn't work in this song, because the very first verse is extremely emotionally intense and painful. And so we decided to go ahead with the first verse being pretty intense. I mean, you know, at least 60%, 60 to 70% of the song, rather than trying to come in at 20 and grow from there. And then we noticed that the choruses are, in this case, the relief of the pain in the verses. So the chorus actually comes down. It doesn't get bigger. It doesn't grow. It kind of says, okay, all these things are happening. I'm feeling all these things. And now, oh, I'm getting a little bit of a break here. And so that's, I'm not going to say that's an opposite dynamic. It's just the dynamic that fits these lyrics. So you'll notice that we're ending the song and we're in the middle of the song quite a bit quieter than we are in the beginning of the song. And then we took a look at the second verse and we noticed that the second verse had even more intensity than the first verse. So we went ahead and let 10% more come into that. And then the ending can be very soft, because the story is moving. What Angela was worried about was losing the attention of the audience. Well, we're definitely not going to lose the attention of the audience, because we're following the power of the lyric, and the power of the lyric is what keeps the audience flowing with us. All right, so now that we've done all that, go ahead and do it again.
All right, you said a whole step lower, right?
Yeah, make it comfortable. Okay. We're in rehearsal.
All right. Baby, don't you know, my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function. The thoughts of you keep weighing me down. Day in and day out, I try to keep my smile, but you've been gone for more than a while. You preach security, but you're not even here with me. And loneliness is not my style. All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money, so can't you just find something else? All I need is you. You. All I need is you. You. Baby, can't you see that life is here with me and not somewhere out there on the road? I'm about to lose my sanity. This life I live is not easy, in spite of what you might have been told. I'm tired of all the pain I feel when you're away. Sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired of being lonely. Boy, you're my one and only. So don't you know I'm counting on you? All I need is you, baby. It's driving me crazy. All I need is you for myself. All I need is you, honey. Don't need that much money, so can't you just find something else? All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you.
There we go. Better. Okay. Now, this is, again, pre-production, not production. But if we were in production, I think the producer would probably want you to do the first verse. You're going to have to remind me what the words are of the frustration, the deep frustration of him being gone. What line is that?
Trying to clear my mind, but I can barely function.
Yeah. So just sing that as a line by itself and get deeper into that one.
I find out where that. Start from the first verse, or
first verse. Yeah, I mean you can start from the beginning of the first verse if you want, but what I want you to do is really put extra attention on that part and feel that deeper. Because I know you know how to. You don't need to be taught to.
Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function, 'cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down.
Okay, so I can barely function. So maybe that's the new key. Go back and do that much in the... Huh?
It is too low. It is too low.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and
the first key.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that in the original key again, because it's too low to get that emotion through. And this is another thing, everyone. Sometimes if the key is wrong, there's no way that the singer can communicate the emotion that we're talking about.
Mute the mic.
Somebody's camera's on and mic's on, and can they turn that off?
I
there
just
we go. Okay.
muted.
Okay,
it's Julian, not a problem. I just muted him.
Okay, all right, thanks. Where were we, Angela? Huh?
I was asking them to please mute their camera.
Oh yeah. So all right. So anyway, so the key. So sometimes the key is too low for those sections where we want that real intense emotion, and that's another reason why sometimes we should change keys. Not because we can or cannot do it in that key, but because we want more, either more relaxation, so we go to a lower key, or we want more intensity, so we go to a higher key. So let's go ahead and do that verse in the original key then, and let me feel what you felt yesterday when you sang that so well.
Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function, 'cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down.
All right, good. So let's use some rhythm there. But I can hardly function.
Can you
There's
please
a little rhythm too.
or that Julian, can you please mute your camera? It's a little distracting. If you can hear me. Thank you.
There we go. So were you able to hear what I sang?
Yeah, say that one more time.
So let's add rhythm to the word function to make it more feely.
Okay.
But I can hardly function.
I got you.
It deserves it. I know it's at the beginning of the song, and so sometimes you think, oh, how can I be that deep into the song at this beginning? But hey, that's what you wrote, man. That's cool. You grabbing us by the throat from the very beginning and say, this is what I feel, and it's deep, and it hurts, and it's painful.
All right.
Go for it.
All right, here we go. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same, 'cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function, 'cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down.
Okay, that's better. So you see, it's really kind of a neat dynamic, because the very beginning line is actually kind of casual. You're just kind of telling him what it is what you're going to be talking about.
Right.
and then all of a sudden is like, wham, you know.
Right.
And maybe what we should do is put a higher note on function. Actually change the notes.
I don't know if I'm cool with that. I'll do it for today. Let me see. We can try it. Something. I can try something. We'll see.
Let's let everybody see the process. I mean, this is what we all go through as songwriters, arrangers, producers. You know, we're constantly changing our minds at the last minute.
Yeah.
Hey, well, what about this and what about that?
We'll try it.
Let's give it a try. Yeah.
I've been saying it like that for like 6 years, so it's going to be hard mentally to fix
No, I understand.
it.
We're not in the perfection mode. We're in the not even rehearsal mode. We're in the experimental mode.
Okay, got you. Here we go. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function.
So what if you said, but I can barely function?
Okay, let's do that. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely. What'd you say?
But I can barely function.
I can barely function. I can
barely function. Just kind of stay up, you know. Rather than going back down, just kind of stay up at that same intensity level. Because all the words deserve it. That whole line, that whole sentence deserves high intensity.
I'm trying to find a piano.
Well, of course.
I can barely. I can. It's so weird because it's like theory-wise, it's step-wise motion going on right there. So I'm trying to turn my mind and take it another way.
Cool.
Hey, Angela.
We appreciate you telling us kind of how you're going through this, you know.
Angela.
Yeah.
When you said barely, and you held it, I actually got caught up in the word barely. Like there's an emotional response where I got caught up in the word barely, and it's like you drew me in.
Yeah.
I got that type of feeling from you when you held it out, like you held me into that moment and brought me into stress. Barely.
Yeah, the stress was on.
Barely function. Just wanted to give you that feedback. Just wanted to give you that feedback.
Thank you.
Takes a team.
And so barely functions. Is it? Okay. My mom. She's the one who taught me everything I know, so. All right. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function. Like that? Is that what you look for?
Well, I'm not sure whether Maud heard. Maud, were you saying that you liked?
You like I can barely, like the way he was saying was that barely, that was the stress was on barely.
Right, but then did you go down from there? I can barely function.
And which, like I said, which makes it a difficult leap if you go down on barely and come up to the function.
So is that right? You're saying you liked it the original way?
No, all I was saying was when she stressed barely, it hit me.
Was that her or me?
Sorry.
When she sang it, when you had her change it and she stressed the word barely, that did something to me. It grabbed me and drew me in, and it wasn't a matter of me saying that she should or shouldn't do something afterward or whatever. I was just letting her know that I had a reaction to it.
Okay, all right.
That was
Cool.
wrong.
All right, so now what we're trying to decide is whether to go up or down from there. So A/B comparison. But I can bet. You go ahead and sing it, Andrew. You know the notes
Baby,
better.
don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function. I can barely function.
Oh yeah. Is that what you mean, Matt? I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay,
But
let's stay with that.
now whether she goes up or down to me depends on what she's going to do next, like what emotional thing she's going to do next. But
Right.
yeah, I like that
Yeah,
right
you
there.
know what? Because you know what? If I go up there and then I go down on that next one, because I say, stars if you keep weighing me down, because that is I'm coming down as I'm singing. So.
All right. So let's try the whole line
Okay.
with this new idea and see what it feels like. It's a pretty short line.
Angela,
Yes.
all right. So when you say down, you are going down, right?
Down. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, 'cause I can barely function. I really want to hold it out more. Can we do that over?
Okay, go ahead.
We're
Hold
in
it
the
up.
studio now. We're tracking.
Well, no, not anymore. No, not anymore. We're experimental now. No.
I'm trying to be you, Brad. Let me go back a minute. I'm silly, y'all. Okay.
Good.
Baby, don't you know my life's just not the same? 'Cause I don't have my baby around. I try to clear my mind, but I can barely function. 'Cause thoughts of you keep weighing me down.
Yeah. That's the one I like. Now, that doesn't mean that's cut in stone either, you know.
Right.
So in pre-production, let's go back to what pre-production is. What you and I and you know, let's say Mott's the producer, and I have producers in pre-production sessions with me, and I think it's highly productive, because now what we've done is I've come up with kind of a thought, and now Andrew's tried a couple of things, and now the producers come in and said, yeah, okay, well I really feel that there, I really like that there. Okay, so now what my next statement to you is okay, before we work on it again, make sure and practice it in, you know, get it really, really grooved, make a couple of changes. You as the artist still need to decide whether you liked it or you didn't like it, or how much you liked it, or if you want to change the rhythm here or there. But I think the main goal that we got out of that was we changed the meaning, we changed the power, the emotional expression of the word to fit the word. And I think that was mostly what I was after anyway.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Now, just a basic coaching philosophy that I wanted to mention to you all, that I almost made the same mistake. In fact, I doubt anybody can remember it, but there was a point there where I was coaching and I was saying, okay, I almost said, or I did say, okay, Angela, let me feel it the way you did yesterday. That's not what I think is good coaching, and I switched it real quick and I said, no, Angela, feel it the way you did yesterday. Because she can attach herself to that. She can go, okay, yeah, I know what I felt yesterday. That's something that she can remember and know what she's doing. Making me feel it the way I felt, she has no control over that. She has no idea of how she would have done that or how she did that. So I'm finding that the common phrase in coaching, you know, whether it be pre-production, but even vocal technique, is if I put your mind on what I want you to do, it takes your mind off of what you're trying to do, and then you can't do it anymore. because you don't have control of that. You don't have control of me. You only have control of yourself. So I tried to make sure I always give you that control. Then I'll let you know whether I felt it or not. And that's what I did when I plotted. I said, yeah, okay, now I feel that. I think we can go ahead. Go ahead, Mont.
Angela.
Yes.
What one of the things that I'm listening for right now is when you say a word, however you say it, how you react to afterward is part of what makes it authentic. So, like, I'll have a singer, and that singer would have the song in rote memory. Like, when I do this, or at this point, I'm supposed to sound like this. But if you're supposed to sound like this in your head at this moment, right? Like, say 1 minute and 3 seconds, I'm supposed to sound exactly like this. But what you did before that moment wasn't what sounds like what it's supposed to be in your head. You were off. Say normally you would be high, but you sang it instead of a high happiness, you sang it with a low sadness, and then you try to do what you have written in your head. It's not matching. Do you know what I mean? Like if I say hi Angela, and then my next sentence is supposed to be girl, how you doing? but I was supposed to say hi Angela, how you doing? But I went hi Angela, girl, how you doing? It doesn't fit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's reacting. If I come in and I say hey Angela, how you doing? My how you doing was in the feeling was reacting or based off of what I did before. So that's one of the things I'm looking for because that helps make everything fit. I'll tell you what. First, let me ask you a question. When you sang the first word "baby," why did you sing it so intensely when you came in? What was your thought? Like when the first thing you said was "baby," and you stressed that, and it's like there's this impact to it. Why did you decide to do it that way?
Honestly, it didn't used to come in like that. It was more soft.
Like what?
Baby, don't you know? That's how it used to come in.
And
But
what made you decide to change that?
Brad and I actually changed that because of losing the intensity of gaining more intensity in the first verse, so that we didn't lose, so that it, even though I was trying to make it build as he was saying earlier, so that same intensity is still in that first verse because the words and the lyrics behind the first verse are powerful. So, to stress that baby and, those other words like function, barely function, and things like that, so that it's communicated that there's a lot of pain going on.
Okay, so when you do that baby, if that's what you want to do, is there supposed to be some anguish in that baby?
Yes.
Okay,
some anguish, but I think that's what we were trying to redemonstrate because we kind of talked about this. All of this is authentic, of course, because I woke up with this crazy voice. So all of this is authentic, but at the same time, we had, like he was saying, we worked on this. And yesterday's, my lessons are on Fridays. So yesterday we were talking about this, and that was one of the things that we went over was, building that intensity back up. Now, I did not feel the anguish in it when I was singing it for you guys these first few times because it was just trying to get past the mental blockage of what is going on in here, which is hard to do, to as a singer, just to not hear your mistakes and to keep going, or to approach it confidently when you are lacking confidence with what's going on in your physical body at that time. So that's not an excuse. It's an excuse. I can go back and emotionally make myself go there. It's just that I wasn't there yet. Because this is 45 minutes into me singing, and usually we're doing our songs like towards the end. I'm working on a song towards the end, warming up and trying to get this right. So, like I said, none of that is really to say is an excuse as to why I didn't use the emotion that I needed to. It's just that I know myself, and I know I wasn't really there mentally at that time to put that emotion in there. As you see, as we've progressed, my voice has started cooperating a little more. My emotions and the control over them, and to get those, those emotions to match those lyrics has gotten progressively better, which is kind of like a repeat of what we kind of did yesterday, that we kind of want to make sure we show you guys today, because it's a process. It's
See,
not
now, me producing you saying all of that, you telling me what the beginning, the beginning part is supposed to have this type of emotion, anguish or whatever. That's not always, like, anguish is not necessarily a pretty note at all. And so
right.
I might want to bring you in and have you not have warmed up and
Right.
have you be off, and because I've never had anybody be angry at me and have a real pretty voice when they're doing it. I'm
Right.
sure there's somebody out there who can do this, some sadistic person that can do it, but
It's
like
not anger. It's like it's
anguish. I meant
yeah.
like
It's just
heart and soul.
yeah. It's I think actually me and my mom were talking about this, because I mean, my raspy voice is actually not a bad voice. It's,
Not at all.
some people thought it was normal when I went to this conference. They were like, "Oh, I thought you were a contralto." No, sorry, I'm a soprano. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm a first soprano. I can sing low, but when I'm raspy right like this, this particular song sounds really good raspy. I just have to be comfortable enough, especially knowing that I'm live. Hey everybody, knowing that I have to get past that, and just let it just roll, because in the studio, of course, it's a different type of environment, a lot more intimate and a lot more private. So there are things that I do in the studio that I keep all of my takes until I'm comping, and I if I think it's if I like the raspy or the grit that I hear or something, I keep it, because it adds character to that particular word. So I feel exactly what you're
Right.
talking about.
Things like
let me
anguish,
inject in,
happiness can be heard. Huh?
Sorry, let me inject in here because this is the perfect place. I was actually dealing with this earlier in the session when I kept saying to her, "Don't judge yourself." And I knew she was, and I know her, and I know that being on camera is having an effect on her. I can see and feel things you guys can't feel because I've seen her in a more comfortable environment. And what you said, Mott, is dead on. That the pretty sound is not what we're necessarily after. You're right. So let's think about the anguish and not think about what the tone of the voice sounds like. And then, as you already know, then it will have anguish. But sometimes getting the singer's mind off of that problem is what we're dealing with as pre-producers and producers all the time.
Right. I was just gonna say also that happiness, anguish, all of that stuff comes through no matter what your voice is like. You could be hoarse and still sound happy.
Yep. So, yeah, and that's why, especially when your voice is shot, your best option is to forget about your voice completely. I'll tell you a funny story. I used to be much more of a left brain singer than I am now. And I was really, really super sick one night at this gig. And I'd been with this band for a long time, so the bass player knew me really well. And he'd heard me sing the same song, hundreds of times. And I remember thinking, my voice hurts so bad, and there's no way I can, walk off stage and go home and say, "Sorry, I'm sick." I knew I had to sing no matter what. So, in effect, I just kind of said, "F it, I don't care what my voice sounds like. I don't care if I hit the notes or not. I'm not going to judge my voice at all. I'm just going to put 100% of my attention on the emotion." And this is long before I was coaching people to do this. In fact, his response to that he gave me at the end of the song is exactly what I'm talking about. And what shocked me, being more of a left brain singer, is he says, "That's the best you've ever sang that."
Wow.
And I thought it was going to be the worst. So I went into total apathy. I just figured my voice isn't going to sing good no matter what I do, so screw it. And so what happened, I guess, more technically, I guess, in retrospect, is I went more subconscious, and what happened is that my mind only had one place to go from there, and that was to the lyrics. And that's what people really want to hear. They want to hear the lyrics. They want to hear the story. They want to hear the emotion. They don't really care whether your voice is clean or not.
Yeah, actually, when I sang this in Atlanta for a group of like 15 people, I was super nervous, but the reason I was having more nervousness is because my voice was way more hoarse than it is now. It was at the very, like, I think maybe the third week I had lost my voice. And so I sang it, and once I finally got through the nervous part, and I was, it was really hoarse, it was crazy, but I had people come up to me afterwards and tell me, you know, how much emotion they felt from it. So I hear exactly what you're saying.
That baby is the very first thing we hear. It is crucial. It's where you grab us and bring us in. So that moment, like if you can draw us in with that moment, what I'm having our singers do here is we're doing this emotional we're practicing emotion stuff, just drilling emotion stuff, so that no matter what, you get people, because I've never had a conversation with somebody where I'm talking and my voice is whatever it is, but I'm not able to get my point across. I've never had that issue. Like if I come to you and my voice is almost gone, but I'm talking to you, as long as you hear my words, you'll know what I'm saying, and I can even get, you know, when I'm talking to you, even if you don't even hear my words fully, you can probably still get what I'm saying. You know, there's enough information there, non-verbal information. And so that's what we're over here practicing, is non-verbal information. It's not even the words. You can even hum a melody and tell somebody's mad from the melody, but by the way they're doing the melody. That information that's given that's not in the words. And then, I mean, you've got some awesome words. Those words are awesome to that song. And so now, whatever sound comes out of your mouth, that first sound, you're supposed to grab us with that emotion, and then, you know, that's like you hook us immediately with that anguish or whatever it is, whatever the intent is you have of that lyric. You grip us with that, and then you take us through the journey of the song, whatever you guys have plotted out, or whatever however you ride the emotion out.
Yeah, he's right on. Angela knows that. Okay, so I've got a half hour left, so let's open it up to you know, whoever wants to come on and make comments and questions and go to an open format. Now that we lost one of our guys. You're Matt, your mic's muted.
I had two people coming in, and one of them came in and he just left. Arizona Songwriter was the other person. Hold on, let me see if I can get Giuliano to come back in. He's a producer. We were laughing, having fun with him. He used to be one of Salt and Pepper's dancers.
Oh, right on. That must have been fun.
You guys changed the song. How did you feel about it, Angela?
On which part? Changing it when we
you guys changed quite a bit of the song?
No, not really. Just mostly my initial dynamic, my take on dynamics was, you know, I was coming in a lot less intense in the beginning, and then building it in that second verse. But we took that same intensity that I originally had in the second verse, moved it to the first verse, and then took that second verse up in intensity even more than what it was originally. So it was just more of a dynamic type of changes and dynamic change that we made.
Brad, one of the Pensadians is asking, and Pensado students, when they are going from producer to singer, and it's just them, what should they do so that they can, if it's just them, what should they do so that they can get this to sound right? What would help them?
Frankly, you're not going to like my answer.
Nope, because I know exactly what he's going to say. because that's what I am.
You need a producer. You can't do it yourself. You know, Matt was there. Colleagues last hangout last Sunday. There was a lot of talk about this, the trying to be the one-man band thing, and I don't think it's in my experience through the years. I don't think it's possible for one person to communicate with himself. And I know that's what we try to do. We record it and then we listen back. Well, we're trying to communicate with ourselves. We're trying to say, oh, did I feel that? Did I feel that? Did I feel that? Well, the problem is you've already said it. You're the one who said it already. You're the one who wrote it. You're the one who did it. And so to you, it's all redundant. It's all happened before. Where to a producer, even though he may have heard you in rehearsal, it's still considerably new to him or her, and they can give you fresh feedback on what's coming out right at that moment and help you change it. And they don't have to be Quincy Jones. They just have to be, to some degree, they just have to be anybody but you. And I wouldn't produce my own vocals. I wouldn't do it. If somebody says, here, here's all the money in the world, but you're going to produce your own vocals, I'd say that's a waste of your money. I'd give it back to them.
One of the things. Oh, go ahead.
I have something to add when you're done.
Okay, go ahead, Brad.
Well, I was done.
Go ahead, Angela.
I agree with Brad on some points. On other points, I know people who are amazing vocal producers for themselves. And they do an amazing job doing that. I think at the end of the day, you do need a second opinion though, and if you were able to get somebody else in the studio with you. For me, I mean, for a while, for 5 years, I was in Oklahoma with no other people, no one else to be there when I recorded. When I was turning anything for when I was in school or anything like that, or anybody I let listen to stuff, I always got really good feedback on, my emotion, the delivery of whatever I was tracking at the time. So I don't think it cannot be done, but I do think that it's wise to get, I don't think across the board, yeah, you should produce your vocals, but I think there's a select few people who can be successful at producing their own vocal and delivering an emotion. But again, it's always good to have a second opinion or have like some type of somebody that you can go to that can, you can give some feedback. And I would never mix my own vocals or anything like that because I'm not, unless it's just a rough mix. But I definitely think that it's still possible to produce your own vocal. It's just that you have to be careful because, as you said, it's redundant. You've heard it before, and you can't make yourself feel something something else than what you've already felt when you were singing it. So if it's like an emotion check, and you need somebody to check the emotions of, like, what are you feeling when you hear this? If you have somebody that you can bounce, I mean, I have people I can, shoot a bounce to real quick and just say, hey, how does it sound? Like, listen for it. I want you to give me feedback on the emotion. How do you feel when you hear the song? So.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to stress how rare that person is in my experience.
I'll have people, like, if we're in the studio, you hop on the mic and you say something, and then you basically have people have a conversation with themselves. So somebody would come in, if you were here, Angela, they would think you're crazy or something because I'll have you sit in front of the mic, you'll make a statement, and then we'll get you on another track, and then you respond to that statement as you listen to yourself, and just get you used to being on the mic, having a conversation with yourself and listening to you. So the idea is, I don't tell the singers this, but the idea is you're hearing yourself, and the more you can feed off of what you're saying, you know what I mean? Like you hopefully eventually get to where you're emoting and reacting to that emotion, like you're some crazy person talking to yourself. And then you have to actually be able to feed off of yourself. But the problem is, which means you have to give the emotional information or whatever. But the problem is, again, you might be you still might end up fooling yourself, thinking that you're doing good, thinking that the emotion is there because you did it and you intended it to be a certain way. So I might come in and be like, what in the hell is all this mess? But then again, like you said, there are people out there who are able to do it. Um, but your audience, like, I always want this extra feedback, like, because whenever we go to do a song, people are always saying stuff that I would have never thought, or they heard such and such in the song that I never heard. And so that's where I'm big on teamwork. Somebody will come in thinking something was sad, and I'm over here thinking it's happy. And so it's just that right there, the whole teamwork aspect. Like Brad, my experience is there are people who can vocal produce themselves, but I've never came across somebody who is supreme at it. Like, I'm talking high quality at it. And the only people that I know of who can do that emotional stuff like what I'm talking about are trained actors. Just very trained actors, and where they've mastered their skill with help. They can send you on this trip doing a dialogue or something. See, Whitney didn't track her own vocals to my knowledge. You guys are having a whole conversation over here, huh? But Giuliano, you there, bruh? Got to unmute.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Did you have any questions for Brad?
Brad, I love you.
I already snitched on you about being a salt and pepper dancer now, so, but, you know.
Yeah. Brad is great. I'm sorry, my technical difficulties are crazy. But this is great. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And Angela, I think you got a great song there. So don't worry about it. You're fantastic. You know. But keep talking.
Thank you.
Well, did you have any questions for Brad?
No.
Put him on the hot seat right now, man. See if he knows anything, you know.
No, I'm trying to follow the conversation, buddy.
All right. Steve, you there? Uh-oh, Steve, you there?
It takes
you
a
got
second.
Any questions? Okay. I just want to know if you had any questions for Brad or Angela.
No, not really. I got into this late today. I forgot all about it and was off doing other things, getting ready for a session I got coming in. This vocal session, in fact. A rapper's coming in about 5-ish my time. And what I find works with him is just don't put him on top of the mic, put him a little bit away, and he emotes well enough that I don't have to worry about things like pops and clicks and having to de-ess him later because he's rapid fire. He just racks it. And well, basically all I do is sit here and get it into the computer and lay it over the track that he brings me that he wants it on, and I'm done.
The engineer's dream.
Yeah, I got lucky. I know they're not.
Yeah, we're interested. Comments are good too. You know, you'll make comments about what we've said or done, or.
As I said, I got into it late today, so I apologize for that. I would have been here from the beginning had I remembered.
Okay, not a problem. You have any questions, Angela?
No, because I work with Brad frequently, but I mean, I do have comments. I mean, you know Mott, and Brad knows that, you know.
Well, he does.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, in the instance where you have someone who is now rebuilding from losing their voice from, well, how long was it? Like 6 weeks, something like that. So I mean, because this is still not back. I mean, you know, I'm not really at full capacity yet, even from yesterday. So I guess for people who, especially during this time of year, people are getting sick, and a lot of people have been losing their voices from my understanding. Whatever I got, a lot of people have gotten. My sister, Johanna, who Brad met yesterday, who I'm going to be working with, she's a singer, and she lost her voice for just as long. And so it's like, what do you do to rebuild that? I guess what advice do you have for people who are going through that right now?
Well, the steam room is always my #1 suggestion if you're healthy. You know, if you're still sick, just leave it alone. Don't just try not to talk. Definitely don't whisper. You know, try to write things down. But the steam room is one of the most direct forms of therapy that is passive for the vocal cords. In other words, they don't have to do anything but just enjoy the warm steam, you know, being there like a warm bath. And it does two things. And the reason I like the steam room over the shower, because that's, and a lot of people say, well, what about the shower? What about the putting your head over the pot of hot water or whatever? All those things are fine, but the steam room, what's superior about the steam room is that a lot of people don't know that the vocal cords need blood in them to vibrate freely, but they don't naturally have a lot in them, and so when our blood is flowing slowly, that's what we call morning voice. When our blood is flowing slowly, then our vocal cords are just naturally in a stiff condition. And so when you go in the steam room, it raises your heart rate too, because it makes your whole body work internally. And so you're getting that blood flow to your vocal cords, which is doing two things. It's relaxing them, warming them up, and then also when you get out, then you've kind of you've kept that blood flow up for the rest of the day. The second thing is cardiovascular exercise, treadmills, you know, something again that's not extreme, but gets your heart rate up around 110, 120 beats a minute for around 20 minutes. And I know some people are going, I can't do that for 2 seconds. And, you know, that's, you know, do what you can do. But the main thing is not how long you keep your heart rate up at first. It's the fact that you get it up at all, that you get the tempo of it up, because that brings healing power, if you will, to your vocal cords. And then the third is these exercises that I give all of you that are dual function. They're warm-ups and they're vocal therapy at the same time. When they're focused mostly on vocal therapy, then we just do less, we do more of those types of exercises, more of those really easy, loose, comfortable massage-style exercises, and less of anything that's tense or stretching or trying to develop power. And then as the voice starts to respond to the therapy and the warm-up, then you can start putting a little bit of pressure on it, and then it can start to grow back. But the main thing to be careful of, most doctors will tell you, the main thing to be careful is to make sure that when you're singing or talking, you're not sick anymore. You just don't want to make sure you're just not sick. Get to that point first. Now, sometimes that's hard to know when that is, because we have what's called post-sickness symptoms, where we still have a lot of phlegm and things like that, but that doesn't mean we're sick. How we know we're sick is fever, just don't feel good systemically in general, and let's say you start to sing and you're doing some really gentle work and your voice just starts to go downhill really fast. That tells you that you're still pretty sick. Whereas if you're not sick, you should feel improvement from those gentle exercises. Never a simple answer, huh?
Juliana, you have a lot of noise going on.
Wow.
Juliano, I had to mute you. There's a whole lot of noise going on. It's almost like white noise. It's not white noise, but there's a whole lot of noise, and I didn't hear you.
Like poltergeist type stuff.
Yeah, the aliens are coming, man.
Yeah.
Juliano, he asked a question. It was, as a producer, what kind of exercise can I do to help me when working with vocalists?
Never heard that question. That's brilliant. I don't know if there's an answer to it, but it's brilliant that you even thought of it. If you're going to sing for them, And in fact, there was a famous producer on Pensado Place. I'm not real good at remembering everybody's names, but there were two things that he said that I thought were particularly interesting. One is that he said that as far as his success is concerned, that he believes in percentage-wise, emotions is 90% of his focus in a recording session, and any other issues like pitch or technique or pitch correction or effects or anything like that is only 10%. But on this subject, they said, well, can you be a good vocal producer and not be able to sing? And his particular opinion was no. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Quincy Jones can sing. But his point is if you can demonstrate through your own voice what you're trying to promote in the singer you're producing, and you do a good job, then that can be very helpful. And so I have had some producers study with me to learn how to warm up their voices and just get ready for a session, and maybe learn a little bit about technique, just so they have a better perspective of what's going on from the singer's side. They're not trying to become great singers. They're just trying to have a much better understanding of what the singer's going through in the session, and what it's like to be a singer, and so forth and so on. So I guess I'd say if you want to be a singer who demonstrates, then you'd want to have someone you trusted to give you a personalized warm-up routine, one that's not on a preset CD or DVD, that gets your voice ready for each session.
I asked Prince Charles that question, and that was his response.
Well, that was him. No, maybe that was. No, I can't remember if that was him or not.
Yeah, he wasn't on Pensado's Place, but he said, sing, get on the microphone and start singing. Because what helped me was, what I did was I got on and I would pretend to be some instrument like a saxophone, and then I would get the singer I would lay the melody like a saxophone melody. Then the singer would come and sing the lyric with the saxophone inflections, and that's all good. I was trying to get the singers to be musical, and I had them think as a saxophone and do saxophone melodies themselves. But then Prince Charles said, "Okay, cool, you got that. You understand that, the musicality of it all." He said, "Sing, just like sing." Like I guess I like grab Whitney Houston's. Well, you might want to start on a song you can sing, but grab one of the Whitney Houston songs and give it a shot. And the better you get at it, all these nuances from all these different artists that you're emulating, I would grab the acapellas and sing with the acapellas, and I started learning stuff that they're doing with their vocals that I never even thought of, and then I could come back to the singer like I actually know something about singing, and just because I got what Whitney Houston was doing, not just listening, but I was doing it, and so now I can say to the singer, whatever based off of that. But so just what Brad said, sing. You should hear me sing, Giuliano. It's something to hear. I'll say it like that. If you like dogs that are in pain, crying in pain, that's me singing, bro. So, he's typing up something. Bruno Martin in Pensado Students was asking a question about the headphone mix. Wait, when I produce, Giuliano says, when I produce vocals, I write harmonies on the piano. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. That's pretty generic. I mean, that's quick, you figure them out real quick, and then you when you bring the actual singers in to start doing them, then you make adjustments from there. But yeah, the piano is one of the best instruments in the world. They insist that you learn how to play enough piano to take a music theory course, because it's the best instrument to learn about harmony from is piano.
But then how does he work with a singer on bringing that character? Because the piano, there's things we can do with our vocal character-wise there's a lot we can do with our vocal that a piano can't do. So like
Right.
bringing character, what could he do to help an artist bring the character after they get these notes, to bring that character to the song?
Well, what I would do is, first of all, you got to make sure that the singer knows the notes and that they're comfortable in their harmony situation. They're not following other singers around. You know how that, you get somebody in parallel thirds and somebody starts dropping down to the lead vocal. They're supposed to stay in their part. So, rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal. As far as character goes, then I guess you have that there is a different dynamic in that in background vocals. Is like how much personality do you want them to have? Sometimes you don't want them to have hardly any personality at all because you want them to be just kind of like a simple what they call wallpaper sound that's just enhancing the overall recording but doesn't stand out in any way. And then other times there's you want the background singer to somehow enhance the lead singer. And so if they were going to enhance the lead singer, then I guess you would want to try to make sure the singer and the harmony singer were on the same page emotionally and musically and how this was going to be expressed. And generally speaking, it's up to the background singer to be the one to do the changes. Sometimes it can be the lead singer if something creative happens, like, oh, that was really cool what you did. I think I'll switch over to you. But generally speaking, you're just trying to get them to match. And then you've got background vocals that are so on their own that you feel like you're listening to three different soloists. And in that case, you would treat them as three different soloists.
Okay, so give them the intent of what they're supposed to do, and then, like, if they're supposed to be whimsical background vocals that are laid back, you just tell them the intent, and then they, okay, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do things like, okay, you can't use vibrato here because the other person's not, and I can't get it to match, and it's probably a couple hundred little things.
Okay, and Bruno Martin in Pensado Students is asking about headphone mixes. Would you just speak on headphone mixes, like things we can do in headphone mixes, or what we would do to a headphone mix to make a singer do whatever?
Well, I'll tell you what I learned from Mark Palladino, who's a highly successful multi-platinum producer. Stevie Nicks is one of his major credentials. He actually goes in the booth with the singer, and he has a set of headphones set up identical to the headphones that the singer's listening to, and he puts them on, and he hears exactly what they're hearing, and then he actually helps the singer with his engineer adjust the mix in the headphones exactly the way Mark thinks is going to best enhance that vocal. Because otherwise, sometimes you're trying to ask somebody who knows nothing about what to do to just kind of guess. Like, well, you say to them, well, do you want your vocals louder? And they go, well, I guess. But if the singer has no understanding of why he'd want the vocals to be louder, then they're just shooting in the dark. I saw a producer get up and take the headphones off of the singer and put them on. He said, "Yeah, your voice is too loud in here, and so it's making you hold back. You're not singing as strong as you could. So we're going to actually pull your vocal back in the mix a little bit. Try to get you to project a little more because the ear will do that. Sometimes you can protect the ear by turning the vocal up really loud. In other words, it'll protect your voice. Protect your voice because then you won't strain. But then other times when you want some angst, some anger, some feel, some power, and the voice is too loud, then the ear is like, well, hey, I'm doing plenty, but the audience can't hear that it's plenty because they can't hear they can't hear the difference between when the music is too loud and not loud enough. But the producer has that knowledge, so he can make adjustments. But that's really the simplest way is just to get a headphones, exactly the same headphones with the exact same mix, and put them on and listen to the singer sing and see what they're hearing. And it is crucial. I don't think it's something you should dick around with. I think the mix and the headphones can either help or destroy a session, no question about it. So before we start any more questions, I guess that this is just a good time to stop, because if we start another one, then I'll be going over into my next session. Thanks everybody. Like I said, when Ma posted these, I love doing these, and I hope to keep, we'll keep doing them every other week and keep coming up with new subjects. And we would like recommendations from you all as far as what you'd like to hear us go over in a full session, and possibly even maybe you want to bring one of your own singers on and have me work with them. That's what Ma does. He just grabs one of his own singers and says, "Here, you work with Brad."
Throw them in the fire.
Yeah, throw them in the fire. So if Ma doesn't have anybody or whatever.
I should bring a rapper on. And
Yeah, I would like to do that. I feel bad that rappers don't come to me. I think that there's some things I could do for them that they just don't believe I could do.
You ready to hop on the mic, Giuliano?
No, he's not really. Okay, guys, so I'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, Brad. Thank you, bro. Giuliano says thank you. Angela's back.
Yeah, I've been back for a minute.
See you guys later.
All right, thank you, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Oh, she's gone.
Bye, Steve.
All right.